The grand cathedral bells tolled, a chorus of hollow sound that seemed to mock Elena's trembling heart. Rows of chandeliers glittered above the satin-covered pews, casting golden light on the aristocracy of her world. The bride was meant to shine brighter than them all, yet Elena stood at the altar with her hands shaking, her veil hiding eyes that brimmed with fear. She had dreamed of this day since she was a little girl, but now everything felt wrong. The air was suffocating, the whispers too sharp. Then, her father's voice cut through the silence, cruel and unyielding. "Stop this farce. She is unfit, a disgrace to our family name." The words shattered her like crystal dropped upon marble. Gasps echoed. Her fiancé recoiled as though her touch were poison. Guests leaned forward eagerly, feeding on the scandal. Elena's chest constricted. Her father's glare pierced her, stripping away every ounce of dignity. In that moment, she realized she was alone, rejected not only by her groom, but by the very blood that had raised her. Her mother turned her face away. The shame was unbearable. Elena's throat burned as she tore off the veil, her tears streaking against powdered cheeks. With a ragged cry, she fled. Down the aisle, out the heavy cathedral doors, into the cold night where rain lashed against cobblestones. Her heart beat wildly. The jeweled hem of her gown snagged on roots and gravel as she ran with no direction, no destination, only the desperate need to escape. The echo of her father's condemnation haunted her ears. Unfit, disgrace, unworthy. Her satin slippers struck mud, the white dress darkened, and the forest rose before her. She plunged into its shadows, breath ragged, unaware that she had crossed a boundary whispered of in old stories. A boundary no human dared trespass. And yet she did. Deep in the darkness, unseen eyes tracked her. A low growl rumbled on the wind. Elena stumbled, twisting her ankle on a jagged stone. She cried out, collapsing against the roots of a gnarled oak. Pain surged, exhaustion conquered her. Her vision blurred as her body yielded to the night. The last thing she felt was the heat of something watching her. Something powerful, something other. The shadows stirred, and from them stepped the Alpha. A massive figure emerged from the misty tree-line. Broad shoulders, coal dark hair, and eyes that glowed an unnatural amber. His presence was commanding, primal, as though the forest itself bent to his will. Kael, Alpha of the Bloodfawn Pack. Ruthless, feared, bound by ancient law to destroy trespassers. Yet as he looked upon the unconscious human bride collapsed at his feet, his instincts warred with duty. The law demanded blood, but the sight of her, so fragile, so broken, ignited something unexpected in him. She should not be here, he murmured, voice low and rough, a growl tempered by restraint. The wolves circled at a distance, their glowing eyes awaiting their Alpha's command. One wrong word, and she would be nothing more than torn flesh. But Kael did not give the order. Instead, he knelt. His hand brushed her cheek, and he felt her shiver even in unconsciousness. A spark jolted through him, sharp as lightning. He cursed under his breath. This woman, she is not mine. She cannot be mine. Still, Kael lifted her in his arms. She was weightless compared to the burdens he carried daily. Her head fell against his chest, and a sound, soft, pleading, escaped her lips. Kael's jaw tightened. He turned his back on the wolves' questioning stares and carried her into the heart of his territory. By dawn, Elena stirred to warmth she did not expect. She blinked against the dim glow of firelight. Furs covered her, the scent of pine and smoke filling her lungs. Then she saw him, the man who watched her from across the fire. Her breath caught. His gaze pinned her like prey. "Where am I?" she whispered. Kael's lips curved into something unreadable. In the last place a human should ever be. Elena's pulse quickened. She should have been terrified. Yet, deep inside, another feeling bloomed, a dangerous, undeniable curiosity. The pack was restless. Word had spread. The Alpha had brought a human into their midst. An outsider. Worse, a runaway bride from the human elite whose family's wealth had often clashed with the wild border villages. Elena awoke to hushed voices, the snap of branches, and the feeling of countless eyes upon her. She rose from the furs cautiously, every sense alive with the tension in the air. Kael entered the den, his presence silencing all whispers. He carried with him an aura of dominance that parted the wolves like shadows. "You will not harm her," he commanded. His voice was iron. His pack lowered their heads, though unease lingered in their eyes. Elena stared at him. "Why?" she asked. "Why protect me when you could have ended it?" Kael studied her, his jaw taut. "Because I do not answer to human laws. And sometimes, not even to my own." Confusion knotted in her chest, but gratitude sparked alongside it. She wanted to ask more, but the warning glances from the pack silenced her. Days passed. Elena struggled to adapt, learning the rhythms of the wolves, the way the forest breathed with them, the customs that painted her as an intruder. Some wolves snarled when she drew near. Others whispered that she would bring ruin. And yet, Kael's shadow was always at her side, protecting, watching, though he never admitted why. Late one evening, as the moon spilled silver across the clearing, Elena dared to ask, "Why do you look at me like that?" Kael's breath stilled. His gaze burned. "Because I cannot look away." Her heart faltered, the night air charged with something she could neither name nor resist. But from the shadows came a snarl, a rival wolf, teeth bared, advancing on her. Elena froze. Kael's roar split the air. The attack came swift and merciless. A young wolf, defiant of the alpha's orders, lunged for Elena with snapping jaws. Kael was faster. In a blur, he shifted, his body morphing into the great black wolf that legends whispered of. His claws dug into earth, his teeth gleamed in the moonlight. He collided with the challenger, their growls shattering the night. Wolves howled. The forest trembled with primal fury. Elena could only watch, breathless, as Kael fought with a savagery that was both terrifying and breathtaking. Every strike was for her. Every roar, a vow unspoken. At last, Kael stood victorious, the rival pinned beneath his massive form. With a final growl, he asserted dominance. The challenger yielded. Kael shifted back, his body bare and glistening with sweat, his chest heaving as he stood before Elena. The fire in his amber eyes fixed on her, fierce and consuming. "You are under my protection," he declared, voice rough with lingering growl. "No wolf will touch you again." Elena's lips parted, trembling. She wanted to protest, to insist she could not stay, that she didn't belong. But the way he looked at her, like she was already his, stripped the words from her tongue. Inside, Kael battled himself. This human was not meant to be his mate. To claim her was to defy everything. Yet the bond tugged, relentless, demanding. As the night stretched, Elena lay awake, her heart echoing the truth she dared not admit. She was no longer running from danger, but running toward it. Then distant horns echoed from the forest edge. Hunters! Human hunters! The horns grew louder. Elena stiffened, recognition twisting in her gut. Her family had sent them, hunters trained to kill wolves, sworn to drag her back no matter the cost. Kael's eyes darkened. His pack bristled with anger. "They come for us," one snarled. "No," Elena whispered, her voice breaking. "They come for me." The truth burned. She had brought danger to their doorstep. Shame weighed heavy, yet fear for Kael burned hotter. Kael gripped her wrist, pulling her close. "You are not leaving with them," he vowed. Tears welled in her eyes. "But if you fight them, your pack could suffer. I can't let you risk everything." Kael silenced her with a growl that was not anger, but desperation. "I would risk everything. For you." The words cracked her heart wide open. The hunters breached the tree-line. Torches flared, crossbows glinted, steel flashed in the moonlight. Elena saw the faces of men she had once dined beside, now twisted with hatred for the wolves who had taken her. "Return her, beast," the captain shouted, "or watch your pack burn." Kael stepped forward, muscles coiled, his voice thunderous. "She is mine." Gasps rose from the hunters. Elena's pulse surged. But the declaration only sealed the inevitability of battle. Steel met Fong as the first arrow flew. Chaos erupted. Wolves charged. Hunters clashed. The forest became a storm of blood and fire. Elena stood frozen, torn between terror and awe as Kael led the fight. His roars shook the night, his strength unmatched, his fury unstoppable. But numbers pressed hard. An arrow grazed a shoulder. Another wolf fell wounded. Elena's scream tore the air. Her family's captain seized her, dragging her toward the flames. "You belong to us, girl. To your blood, not to monsters." Elena fought with all she had, her nails tearing skin, her voice raw. "No, I am not yours. I choose him." Kael's roar thundered through the battle. He struck like lightning, ripping the captain away, his eyes blazing with primal wrath. Breathless, Kael gathered her against him. In that moment, before pack and foe alike, he bared his soul. "You are my mate," he said. "Not a question, a truth." Elena's tears fell, not of sorrow but release. She pressed her hand to his chest, where his heart thundered for her alone. "And you are mine." The bond sealed, blazing brighter than fire, stronger than blood. The pack howled their acceptance, voices uniting with the night. The hunters faltered, retreating before the unbreakable force they faced. Not just an alpha, but an alpha bound to love. When dawn rose, the forest was theirs again. Elena stood beside Kael, no longer a runaway bride, no longer a broken daughter. She was claimed, chosen, free. The pack bowed their heads in respect. The alpha had his mate, and Elena had finally found home. Thank you for listening to Rejected by Her Family. The runaway bride finds refuge in the alpha's arms. If you enjoyed this story of passion, betrayal, and fated love, don't forget to subscribe and return for more full-length romance audiobooks. Every story holds a new world, a new love, and a new adventure waiting for you. Until next time, may your heart always find its true mate.